Here we go. I'm gonna scooch in just a little bit.
Sure. You want to aim it? You might need to turn it.
I just care about you. I really just care about you in the shot.
The
It's fine.
The camera's on it.
It's really fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
Coming in.
Let me know. There you go, Sarita.
There you go.
Because I can always slide over if you need me to.
I can.
Perfect, because that even got the light to come on.
What, this way?
We're good.
There you go.
All right, so this
All
All right,
got
let me
your
just
face.
move.
All right.
Hi guys, welcome to our live. We're about to get started in a few minutes.
Are you ready? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we could go live.
Hello, you guys are so quiet.
Can you hit the record button? Just hit the record button.
So my name is Leslie Freeland,
Awesome. Thank you.
and I am the owner of the Wine Hub here. Can you do that when I wake up in the morning? And I am just so delighted that everyone can come out because we need a good cheer.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am delighted to have Mrs. Cox here.
Hello.
And my podcast sisters. The
Cheers.
Swirl Suite.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Started
10.
10.
wow.
Yeah. 10 years.
Yeah.
On
Google
some of you
Hang.
guys may not remember this, but Google used to have a little connection thing, and then that went away. But it started just as like, a hobby and for us to get together and talk about wine. And 10 years later, we have had the opportunity to interview some of just the greatest individuals in wine and talk about wine. And so I thought, what better way to find out about this wonderful rosé, because I'm loving the rosé, is to have my Swirl Suite Sisters interview. So let me introduce Sarita Chavez.
Hey, everybody.
And Glennis Hill.
Hey, everybody.
And I'm going to turn the show over to them.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the Swirl Suite.
Welcome to the
Hi.
Swirl Suite.
We're so happy to be here, Glennis and I. Can I start out with the corniest question ever, Deborah?
Mm-hmm.
How did we get here?
I was waiting for it. I have heard this for decades. I need for someone to come up with something more original.
No, I kid. But are you a wine drinker? Like, how did you get into wine?
Okay, so my journey started very, very early before being a recording artist. When I was a background singer for Celine Dion in Toronto, is where I grew up, and we would travel and do shows throughout Provence. I had no idea at the time that it was wine country. It was like in my early 20s at the time. It was just like, we were in Lyon and Marseille and Toulouse and of course Nice. And as the years went on, I mean, I love to have a beautiful glass of red after a show. Red is a little bit harsh for me vocally. So, in the back of my mind also, I was like, if I ever get the opportunity, I would love to have a vineyard and, create some amazing wines and stuff. And, my husband and I, we would always just sort of be this little secret dream between the two of us, and then fast forward to the pandemic where we really had to pivot. We're like, are we ever going to get out of this place that we're in? Are we ever going to be able to go outside and communicate and be, amongst our friends again and just chill and have wine and stuff? Because we used to just do this on a regular with our friends, kind of like how you all came up with the podcast. So it was the same thing. And then we were like, you know what, let's create our rosé. So the search went on to figure out how to create something that was organic and still tasted good, because we are in the day and age where we need to think about our planet, think about legacy, and think about what we ingest. And so it started with the name Kazaisu, which is the name of our three children, their names combined. Kayla, Isaiah, and Sumaya. They make up the name Kazaisu. So that was the first thing that was, deeply personal. And again, being able to start and create a legacy brand.
Outstanding. So since we're talking about the name, let's go into the label itself.
Yes.
So let's talk about the design of the label. How did you come up with the design of the label and the significance of the dragonfly?
Sure. The shape of the bottle really is something that I wanted, something very elegant, something pretty. We want something cute for the tape.
That's right. That's right.
I was like, I think something that looks like a perfume bottle or something that is really stand out and elegant. That was first and foremost. And then we, of course, wanted it to line up with our core value, which is being biodegradable and sustainable. We chose the glass stopper, which if you're, you can, if you're by yourself and you want to just drink the whole thing over time, you can just reseal it yourself. If you're on a yacht or a boat or whatever, you don't need anything. You just, you can reseal it. We wanted to be able to be, again, we wanted it to be reused. So you can put water in it, oils, lemonade, whatever, or you can use it as a beautiful centerpiece.
Yeah.
Yes. And the dragonfly, significant. It's a very elegant. I mean, that's a personal thing. I wanted something that made a statement and was very recognizable. And the dragonfly represents, peace, humility, and elegance as well.
Wow.
So tell us about the grapes that are used to make these two wines.
Sure. So the rosé we started with, it has my favorite varietals, the Grenache, Cinsault, Mourvèdre, and a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon as well. So I love the blend of it. I love something very fruity. I've never liked sweet drinks. If it's, I always preferred something that was dry. And so this is something that I drink. So if nobody else is going through the inventory, I am. It's my absolute favorite. And then there was a bit of demand for the white, and so we rolled that out just this past summer. It's a Vermentino, as well as a bit of Blanc as well, and it's a lovely, lovely taste. Both are, again, from Provence. I believe rosé should come from Provence. It's not just about the grapes; it's about where the soil, right? The terroir.
The terroir.
Terroir. That's French for terroir. But yeah, I honestly, ladies, and all of us here, it's to take the sort of mystique out of wine. It's what you like. You know what I mean? It's just like art or music. After a show, this is what I like to drink, and I like to share it with friends and family. And when I get the opportunity to do moments and have some connections like this is my vibe.
There you go. And I feel that. I can feel that vibe. Let me tell you something. This young lady has done a marvelous job. I want everyone in here to make sure that you taste both of them because they present totally different.
They do.
From us wine nerds, you have very high acid in the white, which will cut some great sauces, some light sauces, crisp, citrus, and then with the rosé, it's presenting on the palate berries, fresh fruit, but very smooth. It's not the same mouthfeel as the white, but this rosé at this price point is beautiful, people. So everybody out there in podcast land, go find some kazoo.
Kazaisu.
Yeah.
Kazaisu.
Kazaisu.
And please don't listen to the way I pronounce it because I've been trying to figure that out for the last 2 hours. So I'm gonna let Deborah say it every time. I'm
All
gonna
right, here we
point to
go.
her.
So we'll get everybody to say it.
Kazaisu.
Su.
Kazaisu.
So put it all together. Kazaisu.
Kazaisu.
There you
Got
go.
it.
Kazaisu. And listen, again, it was a very good name to trademark.
Oh, very
Because
much.
nobody
Nobody has that, I'm
Right.
sure.
That is like the hardest part of starting
Yeah.
a business. And I want everyone to understand too that this is truly Black owned
Mm.
and self-funded.
Outstanding.
My husband and I, who is really the brains behind a lot of the tech. I get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff, trust me. But he's really the person that really is behind on the business side. We really wanted to make sure that this was a product that was authentic. Far too often when you have brands, celebrity brands, you're not given the best. You know what I mean? And it's taken a long time to find a good vineyard that really sourced and produced organic grapes and created wines that were clean, really and truly clean.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being one of those people that is put in a position, not that I've been in, I shouldn't say that, but I just got over endorsing things that were not really credible. And so that was our search, was to find something that was really authentic and clean and organic. And I mean, when I say organic, they wait for the rain. There's no irrigation.
Wow.
It's really and truly the way that wine was originally produced and made.
I have a business question. What do you think one of the major differences is between selling an album and selling a bottle of wine?
I think there's a lot of similarities, actually. Wine and music is about connection. Music is about, you play a song based on how you feel, how you want to feel. I feel like wine is the same way. Not all the time I do the rosé. Sometimes I really want to just chill after show and I'll do the white. I know that for me, it just has a different, just a different vibe, for lack of a better word, at this time. But yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities in just making connection with people, helping them to understand the story behind the reason why we wanted to come up with something like this and create a new venture. And being in this space, it was shocking to see that there's not a lot of Black vintners. That, it's less than 1% in Napa Valley. I mean, it's really, especially here in the U.S. Well, yeah, just in general.
I think I'm excited to see that you are not only endorsing a provincial wine, but it's a woman of color.
Yes.
In Europe, which is big because you're talking about even less than 1%.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's a marvelous feat in itself. I guess my next question for you would be, so when you're chilling, what song are you pairing with each of these?
Oh, which song am I pairing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Probably. That's a hard one. Well, I mean, nobody's supposed to be here, really. Yeah, because that's supposed to be here. You know what I mean? That's supposed to be here any time of day. I also want to kind of. There's a myth about rosé, right? There's a myth that it should be, in the summer or poolside or whatever. I think it can be all year round.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's a beautiful, lighter, drier wine that can be, celebrated all year round. So, so we're gonna say Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, ballad and dance version.
Okay, I'll take that.
And then for the white, sometimes you can't be friends with the white.
A little sharp around the edges.
Shots fired.
And we'll sip.
But you will, yes. But you will, with both of them, you will be sentimental.
All right.
And on that note,
cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, outstanding. I love it.
This is a side that you find when I drink wine.
Okay. We're getting it all. It's all authentic today.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
I got a question.
Sure.
Is there a current R&B artist that you would like to collaborate with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh.
Guys online, he said,
There's
is
a
there an
lot.
R&B artist that she wants to collaborate with?
I love Money Long. I love her music. I love Jasmine Sullivan, Maxwell.
Ooh.
Would love to do. Yeah, I think I found that every artist really brings something different, and I think it's taken a while for all of us artists to get to the point where we can really collaborate with each other, because for far too long there have been the gatekeepers at these labels that don't allow artists sometimes to really make a connection and vibe and create. So now we're in the music is in a different place. So with social media and with sort of things opening up a lot more, we can create those partnerships and collaborations.
So I know you're an R&B girl.
Yes.
What's your Get Hype song? You Glorilla fan? You Cardi? Or you want old school?
I'm Lauryn Hill.
Okay,
Lauryn
that's
Hill
fair.
And Michael Jackson and Prince.
There you
Okay,
go.
So
that's
I
fair.
don't stop till you get enough. Rock with you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lauryn Hill, too good to be true.
Yeah.
You're just too good. There's just a vibe with that
Okay.
album, But I'm a real music lover in the sense that I can really literally start my day with one style and go throughout my whole day. My playlist is crazy. It goes, from through many different genres, because again, like how we go throughout our day emotionally, there's different feelings that you have at the beginning of the day, and you know what I mean, throughout your day you want to hear or listen to something different. I'm pretty much the same that way.
You had a question.
I did. I have a question. I want to go back and ask about the wine.
Mhm.
You said that you're one of only 1% of all Black women involved in this whole
Space.
Yeah. Space. So what would you say was the biggest obstacle you and your husband encountered when you were trying to get, the wine to the market?
The biggest challenge was distribution.
I was good.
Distribution. I had no idea. And listen, if I had known, it would be another album. That is literally, music is so much easier than this industry. There are so many gatekeepers, like I said, that will not support, will not even give you an opportunity to get your wine to the people.
Yes.
To even get it in store, that's been a challenge. So we started direct to consumer, so we're online, and we're in pockets of places in the New York area. We got distribution in Canada, so we're in 153 stores. We just found that out this summer, and rosé is not even, of the season,
Right.
But it's outselling, and people are discovering that, oh wow, rosé, I can actually have it with, I can pair it with anything.
Yeah.
So I think there's again, we have to break down all these myths and stigmas about both rosé and white. And distribution was probably the most challenging, and still is.
That's interesting, because I was going to ask a similar question. So besides, so you said Canada
And Japan.
New York. What
New
about
York.
the DC metro area?
DC metro area, we have we still have work to do. So the only way that we're going to continue to get these brands in stores is if it's requested, if it's bought, and if people just it's by demand.
Sure. So it's just like radio station, like
Very much
Right.
so.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, you
So
don't
Vino
remember?
301, the wine concierge.
The wine concierge.
Yeah.
I think we had a question right here.
Hi. Are you having any plans to expand to a red?
Yeah.
Red,
A Bandol.
Oh my.
Bandol, yes. Or Pinot Burgundy. I'm still trying to decide. Again, we could roll out a whole bunch of, things that I love, but we have been getting a lot of requests for red. And listen, I love feedback too. So if there's there are suggestions, go on our page at Kazaisu, either on Instagram or on Facebook, follow us. Let's get the conversation going, and let's continue the conversation, because I would love to explore a sparkling
Nice.
as well. You know what I mean? It's what it just I'm good for ideas and suggestions.
So I guess my question is, so how was the import business? So to get it from Europe to Canada or Europe to the US, was that challenging as well? Or were you able to navigate that a little easier than the distribution side? Because distribution and import is
Different, very different.
Yeah. So the import side is easier, definitely. You just it's about finding someone, a carrier that will, bring it by sea. It's literally old school. You wait for the ship and stuff. And then we had slight delays during right around the pandemic. Everything had slowed down. So all the ports were busy. And I mean, a lot of people even lost wine because it took so long. And thankfully we were okay. But it's really about, again, finding the right partners, finding the right people to work with and collaborate with, and people that believe in your product. Because if if one importer isn't bringing in a whole lot of your product, they won't make it a priority. So much like the record business, you got to have like the relationships to get people to bring your product on board and in front of people. Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? I was one in the back.
Where are you sourcing from? You might have already mentioned that.
Yeah, from so the vineyard is in Provence, it's called Chateau Marjolière. It's a lovely family-owned vineyard, and it's in the Bandol area, in Provence. Yeah, and honestly, I was like, I'm not going to get into this industry with anything that is not authentic and not, credible. It took about a year to really get a blend that I felt would be something that people that really know good wine quality. That took a while. You know what I mean? And I wasn't in any rush to do anything like it. Would have been easier, honestly, to just put my name on a brand already and kind of go that route. But it really meant something to me, again, to be organic. Like, we pride ourselves in being organic, and that you can, have something that tastes good and is organic. Because most of the organic brands, they're not happening. They're not.
You ain't never lied.
We know.
Don't let me go down that path, right, Leslie?
So it seems like you were very involved in the process. What did that look like?
It was a very, very new venture for me. And I'm still learning, I think, again, the hardest part is just all the legalities that are behind the industry. Every state, every city
is different.
I mean, the DMV, even here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, Leslie, but girl, it was like just getting it. I have never seen an industry so regulated, but it's been a learning curve, and we are determined to make this brand a success.
Well, I am excited.
Thank you.
I'm excited
Me
because
too.
it is a beautiful expression of your dedication and your love for things that are clean.
Yeah.
And when we say clean, organic, and
like
besides-
less than a gram of sugar in a glass.
Wow.
See, for us trying to keep these weight on go girl.
Yeah. So I mean, my motto is look, everyone's gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a little bit of everything in our lifetime. It's not all gonna be one way. It's like your appetite has to be a mixture and a blend of a little bit of good and a little bit of the better. These things come out when I'm having it. So I think that it's really just about discovering and finding things that you like.
Mm.
And then when you find things that are actually not that bad for you, you can enjoy
Enjoy
it
it.
even more.
There you go.
Speaking of that, I had the rosé with salt and vinegar potato chips earlier, guys. It was fantastic. It was, what? And I told her downstairs, what are some of your favorite pairings with each of the wines?
Ooh, I love the rosé with any type of salad, either like sometimes I'll do like a kale mixed salad with shrimp,
Mm.
or even I love it with salmon. Love it with salmon.
Yeah.
The white I love with pasta, any kind of pasta. It's just
Shrimp scampi would be
perfect shrimp
outstanding. The
scampi.
butter,
Yeah.
Ooh,
the
Yeah.
acid
Mhm.
in the
Yes.
white will
Yeah.
cut the butter
It-
and
yes.
complement it very well.
Mm.
Now I want some shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta go out,
We
girlfriend.
gotta go.
Our new best friend.
Mhm.
Guys, any other questions before Deborah starts signing bottles? Oh, two more. Okay.
Have you considered joining a wine club? You having your folks add to a wine club? You know, the Wall Street Journal has a really good one, do a rosé.
Oh.
That's how I discovered different wines.
Okay. So you mean entering the wines in a wine club? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're still building our team, because I'm starting to understand that this is what it takes to get your wines out there.
Mhm.
It's about that connection and hearing from consumers, like real, connoisseurs, if you will, of wine, and like you know what you like. So I'll take that into consideration. Absolutely.
We have this young man, and then we have.
I just wanted to piggyback off of that.
Mm.
The wine concierge has an amazing wine.
A club.
Just,
Okay.
Just
throwing
that out.
Yes. Definitely noted.
The gentleman in the gray, you had a question?
Since if distribution in the United States is difficult, I know that it is. And you're already in Europe, do you plan to distribute it across Europe? That's actually easier and cheaper. Is that something that you guys are looking to do?
Yes and no. I think the priority will be so that we can grow here in the US and really have it established in the way that we're building in Canada and building in Japan. And now Japan it's a hotel that's carrying
Nice.
both. So and they're called 7x7, and they'll be in Dubai, and they'll be in the US in another 4 or 5 years. So it's still growing. Europe has a lot of wine. It's fun. So I would rather build in a place where there's a real need. I feel like we really need good tasting, clean, organic wine in this market. We need it. So yeah, it's a matter of priority. There's not a better. It's not,
With that,
yeah.
with that, I know you said that your husband is the business side, and you may or may not know. But how many cases of each of these are you producing yearly? Because
Yearly,
that will determine how much you
Yeah,
can
and
distribute.
again, that depends on the demand. I mean, we
Mhm.
went out there. We really went out there. When I say we self-funded, we went out there like a lot of both. We got a lot.
Okay.
But now that we know that, again, once the demand builds,
Okay.
and it seems like the more I do, and the more I sort of kind of get out there and mix and mingle with a lot of, we'll find more alliances and partnerships. So yeah, containers are expensive.
Yeah.
For sure. Any other questions? Oh, okay.
I just had a question about the aging. Like, how long what is, I guess, that cutoff? Is it
The cutoff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, girl, because we're like
or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know. And that's what I say about the myth about rosé. People think, oh, it's only for 6 months, or you can only have it in the summer. No, it's a wine. It ages beautifully as well, 2 to 3 years if it's a good quality. But if you have something that has a ton of sugar in it, or it's just not made right, it's not going to last. And the Vermentino, I mean, that's a beautifully done
Has enough.
Mhm.
white. Yeah, it has enough. That can last 3 to 5 years. Like
Mm.
there's no um, expiration on. I mean, you'll lose some freshness, I think, but just like with anything that is, again, of quality, organic,
Mhm.
you're probably better having it sooner rather than later. But again, it's a wine. The way it's created is quality.
And you would have to store it correctly
Mhm.
because
Right.
it's in a glass bottle
Oh yeah,
and
for
a
sure.
glass bottle that's clear.
Yeah.
You don't want to store it in direct sunlight or in any type of heat.
Yeah.
So don't go put it over your refrigerator or by the stove. I have seen this. I
You are
walked
so
in,
right.
I was walking
Yeah.
in people's
But people don't think
houses and
about
I'm
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh God, check out this stuff. I'm not drinking that. Can
And
I have a
also,
beer?
when you go to the wine shop and it's Black History Month and they got all the black wines in the window,
Don't
buy the
buy
window.
those.
Don't buy the window wines.
Don't buy the window wines.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
Because
you're
the sun
absolutely
Yeah,
right
the
is
sun is
about
beating
that.
them
directly
up.
going to hit it.
It's
Yeah.
cooking it.
Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
a fault
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you will find in wine, cooked
Yeah.
wine.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna go to these stores and make sure
Yeah.
that they don't
Don't
have
have
it.
So
Exactly.
have a display inside the store,
See,
not in the
These
window.
are things that you don't
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
You're right. And what is the correct? Let folks know what the correct temperature should be when you're storing. If you have a
Well, in my house, I have a wine cooler, and I leave my whites because two things. I leave my whites around 40 in the 40s, and it's because if it's too cold, you can't taste the flavor profile off of it. So if you I see my friends over there in the corner, they've been with me, and bottles of wine will come to the table and I'm like, this is too cold, you won't be able to taste it. So I leave I leave my whites and my rosés at about 40 to 45, and the reds are at like 50 to 55.
so you have two coolers or more.
I have a
few.
Well, I have one. I rather to have I have it a dual.
Dual.
Mhm. Have a dual.
Yeah, these are things that I think people take for granted as far as information, don't really know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
Very
sure.
informative.
Yeah. Well, Deborah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining
We're
us
not gonna do
today.
this or that.
I don't have any.
Okay.
And then our time is up.
Oh,
She
our
needs to
time's up.
sign-
Okay,
Yeah, she's got to sign bottles and mingle.
Okay.
So, thank you so
listen
much
to the
for joining
podcast.
us.
Thank you.
Future
Yes,
this or that.
absolutely.
Thank you so much. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Guys, this will air next week. Follow the Swirl Suite.
Oh, I'm just saying thank you, everyone. Please have some wine. Have some,
Thank
more
you.
food.
Thank
We
you.
are selling wine.